Hi there folks, Matt Hayson with all things going on around the market, and there's plenty happening as always. Let's start with the auction clearance rate. It was the final weekend before the spring selling cycle, and the auction clearance rate came through at 68%, which is a moderate outcome. Now, I read an article during the week from Domain which I thought surmised the market pretty well. There's three tiers of properties which are presently on the market: tier A, B and C. Now the tier A properties, pretty easy. They're the properties which are attracting the bulk of buying attention. They're selling exceptionally well, and in most instances well above the reserve or expectations. Then we've got our tier B properties. Now I feel that most of the properties on the market sit in this zone. Now these properties are certainly attracting buyer interest. However, there might be something deficient, whether or not it's the floor plan, the aspect. Now buyers are preferring to wait to see what happens at auction, and these properties are selling well within the price range rather than being well above expectation. Then we have our tier C properties. Now these properties are starting to really struggle. They could have a combination of being on a busier road, a poor floor plan, a poor aspect, maybe it's a lack of parking or something like that, and buyers are really starting to shy away from these particular properties. Now when we look at market conditions and the auction clearance rate sitting at 85 or 90%, buyers are really just piling into the market just to secure a property. However, in the current environment, what we're seeing is buyers are finding it a little bit harder to predict what's going on, because you're seeing these three tiers of activity. Some properties selling exceptionally well, other properties are struggling a little bit, and then there's properties which just aren't selling whatsoever. Now, this is interesting as we move into the spring market, because we're expecting an acceleration of properties which are going to become available, which is great news if you're a buyer. You're going to have increasing choice. However, it's going to be very interesting to see whether or not this really does dilute the present number of buyers that are on the market. Because I also read a very interesting article during the week. For the first time in 7 years, the loan books of the major banks has actually reduced, particularly around interest-only loans, which is a reflection of tightening lending policy for the consumer. And it's obviously forcing people to reduce down debt. Now, this sentiment is going to be very interesting as we move through into the spring selling season, where we're going to see increasing volume and potentially more pressure on buyers to reduce debt, something which we'll monitor very closely. Now this Saturday represents the first weekend of the spring selling season, and we're excited about that. We've got some beautiful properties which are going to be coming up this weekend, and also moving through into September, which we look forward to bringing you, and we look forward to seeing you guys out and about. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.